Hey everybody, this is Courageous Fire. So I'm so excited to be with you today. You know what? Today I am just bringing you what is on my spirit today because somebody probably needs to hear this. I know this is definitely a good word for uh, a black sister who happens to be a survivor. But I also just want to share it, broadly because I'm sure there are other people who need to hear this. So, right now, I am definitely celebrating myself because in the last, I don't know, 72 hours, I have done a whole lot of making sure that I am guarding my own peace. Yep, peace. Peace is invaluable and is also something that is really incredibly intangible in some ways. It's not something that you can reach out and touch like a bracelet or an earring. When you touch that solid thing, you feel the contact with that solid thing. Um, Peace is not as visceral, right? Peace is something that you have to sit and reflect to see if your peace is intact. And if you are in tune with your spirit and with your body, you can actually feel the effects of your peace being present or your peace being absent. So, for instance, I was encountering something yesterday that was greatly disturbing my peace. And I felt it in the tension that crawled up to the base of my skull and wrapped its really tight claw like fingers around the back of my neck. And that created so much pressure, and it actually made me aware of the fact that my peace was absent. So, as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, I have this very light feeling throughout my body. The back of my neck and the base of my skull are pretty loose. Um, and so, and even more than that, the warm smile that I have, that easy warm smile that I have when my peace is present, that smile is present. And it is a feeling that sits in my chest and it feels good. It's not that thickness that balls up inside the pit of your stomach or that clenches around your sternum. It's that thing that sits in your chest that makes you feel like maybe I don't need to eat any food right now because I just feel full, right? That thing. One of my very favorite activists, because of his so many things, but I think some of my favorite things of this gentleman were his clarity of speech, the way in which he articulated, the way that he gave you that eye contact that made you feel like you were sensing his very inner soul when he spoke. Um, his ability to do self introspection. I'm speaking of Malcolm X. And he talked about something that is so important to me in this moment, among others, which is by any means necessary. And so, by sharing this part of my journey with you, I am sharing permission, right? That's what always is happening when you are interacting with me is I am giving you something within what I'm giving you. And the backdrop of everything that I'm always going to share with you is the permission piece. As you hear me, as you see me, as you experience me, whether it is through the facilitation of the empowerment through the arts, whether it is the telling of part of my story to empower you on your journey, whether it is um, teaching you how to utilize your own voice for self advocacy, whether it is celebrating the beauty that is you as a black woman. So many parts, right? But the biggest part of it all is always permission. Permission. So, over the last 72 hours, I have done some things. They weren't big things, but they made huge impact in preserving or reclaiming, whichever fit the situation, my peace. So there have been situations already early in this week that I made a choice to put the needs of my organization secondary to the needs of the person courageous, right? So if I was pursuing something for my organization that was creating a disturbance in my peace, and secondarily the peace of the two young queens that I'm raising, then I made decisions this week. That's not going to work. And even if I have to do more as the person courageous to accommodate some goals of the business Courageous Fire LLC, I still have more peace with doing the extra work and knowing that I'm guarding my peace by taking on that additional work. And for some of you, that might sound like, what kind of peace is that? That don't make no sense. But for those of you who have had your peace stripped away by fitting yourself into other expectations from other places that didn't fit what you needed to maintain or reclaim your peace, you understand how important it is to do a little more to hang on to that peace. Man, so by any means necessary really rings true for me right now. And I had some incredible conversations today that because I did the things that I did earlier in this week, it made space for those interactions, for those conversations, and for that new level of peace to be reclaimed by me today. And so I love how the confirmation always comes through when you decide, I'm first. You know, we want to talk about biblical ramifications of so many things so often without actually doing what we say we're honoring. Love others the way you love yourself. That statement by Jesus Christ actually tells you you're supposed to take care of you first. First. And then from that self-care emanates that out into the things that you do, the things that you touch, the places you occupy. Love you first. Take care of yourself first. And then that will radiate outward. So beautiful today. Oh my God. The phrase for today is by any means necessary. Guard your peace. Keep your boundaries in place. And I know sometimes it can be difficult to say, this is what I'm doing, and it honors a boundary, and we wonder about that other person's comfort or discomfort, but it's not worth sacrificing your peace to comfort someone else. That's too high a price tag. So today, one more time before I get off here, guard your peace by any means necessary, even if it means being uncomfortable in a moment or two, so that when you're done, you're sitting here in that safe, warm resting place of your peace. I'm Courageous Fire. Blessings.